Hey everyone, Willow here. I'm subbing for your Tuesday regular host, Pandora. But before I get into this video, I would like to begin by apologizing profusely for not having this video up on time. I do have two little ones, a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, and both of them are unwell with two different things. So yesterday was pretty full on, and as I say, you need to look after yourself before you can look after others. So I needed to get myself some much needed rest and sleep in order for me to be able to combat through today. So I do apologize once again. This week on Starting Out Solitary, we are on week 163 and the topic is Poppets and or Mojo bags. Do you use them, and if so, how? The answer to that is yes, I use both. Currently I am doing a course run by Elder Crow from Earthly Alchemy, and that course is called Aromatic Magic. Now, on my personal channel about 3 weeks ago, I did an unboxing video of one of their subscription boxes, The Witch's Chest. Towards the end of that, I do talk a little bit about their course as well. So if you're wanting to know more information, please go over to my personal channel and check out that video. So in this course, about a couple of months ago, we covered the topics of Mojo bags or Grigri bags and Poppets. And we were very fortunate enough to create our own. And I absolutely love the concept and idea of using them in my practice, and therefore fairly recently I have started using them. Now, having said that, for a while I have been creating my own spell bags or witches bags, and in actual fact I have many scattered throughout the house for different purposes. I have protection, abundance, healing. I have some that act as dream catchers as well, just to name a few. Actually, an example that I have here is my spell bag or witches bag for creativity. So as you can see, this is more the traditional, the common idea of a spell bag, or the common name for a spell bag in today's pagan world, if that makes sense. So basically I've used an organza bag, and the color is a grayish purple color, which to me magically corresponds with connecting with higher self, or the divine, and channeling through any creative ideas and inspirations. So in here I have some dried herbs and resins and flowers that magically correspond with creativity. I also have some crystals in here, and in here I also have a sigil and my words of power on my spell. So this is my creativity spell bag or witches bag. It stays here in my creative space. I have 2 altars up here, so generally it stays there. However, when I'm getting all really creative at the desk, I will bring it next to me to channel in that, creativity and inspiration in whatever it is that I'm making there. So that is the general idea behind these bags, that it is a portable talisman that you take with you. And as I said, that is kind of the modern spell bag. Traditionally, there are many different other bags under different names, stemming from different traditions. So you have the Mojo bag, which I believe originates in Africa, and the idea and concept is the same. Obviously, there are different traditional methods or ways of creating one, and generally the Mojo bag is made for yourself. That concept or that idea was taken by also the New Orleans, and I believe currently today it's more known as the New Orleans spell bag, or the New Orleans witches bag, or the New Orleans bag, and it's from the belief of from the hoodoo beliefs as well. Now, the difference between hoodoo and voodoo: hoodoo is folk magic. It is also known as conjure or root work, and voodoo is a tradition or a belief that stems from Africa, also taking parts of European, I think South American as well, just to name. So that is a religious belief. So that's the difference between the two. Also, these types of bags originate also from the Islamic belief. Now, I know that they don't practice, or they don't believe in practicing magically or witchcraft by all means. However, they would create a little bag for themselves for protection, for example. So they would use sacred scripts from the Quran, and carry that with them for protection. So that's another part where it also originates from. So yeah, I've mentioned Mojo bags, and then from that idea, the idea of Mojo bags, I guess, New Orleans hoodoo practitioners also introduced the Grigri bags, and Grigri bags are generally made for somebody else, and there are traditional methods or ways of making them. An example that I've purchased one of these Grigri bags from Earthly Alchemy, and this was way before I even started the course with them. So this is one for protection. So the you know, the bag, the representation, sorry, of the material, you know, represents protection, along with, you know, there's the pentacle here as well. And inside there are herbs and resin and essential oils that magically correspond with protection. So this is something that I have bought from Earthly Alchemy. They do make these and they also sell these. And what I would do is activate it when I first purchase it, and then I would feed it. Now, I've got all these things that I want to mention and I hope I don't forget. I love the concept behind hoodoo. Hoodoo, generally they're, what's the name? It's kind of animistic. So they believe there is a spirit in everything, and you're creating this with spirit as well. So the outside or the bag that you would use, I know there's traditionally a size that it needs to be cut out in, and I believe that they use traditionally red velvet, leather. And Grigories are not necessarily just bags. They can also be in powder form as well as amulets too. But going back to this, yeah, so there is generally traditionally a size that you would cut out your little material. But for me, that is not important at this point of time. As I said, I am eclectic, so I do pick and choose from different paths and beliefs and incorporate it into mine. So I would cut it, you know, whatever size I feel is right for me. An example of some material that I've bought from an op shop, and I got this bag for 50 cents. So all these different materials and different colors here, just to show you an example. So I would begin by cutting it and then thinking about what magically corresponds for protection. For example, it may be purple today, or it may be black, or it may be white. So I would use that color to magically correspond with whatever it is that I'm wishing to manifest or bring to me. So after I've finished cutting my little piece of material, I know with Grigories, they generally say that you put an odd number of items in there. So no less than 3 and no more than 13. I tried to look up why that is the case, but I couldn't find any information as to why exactly. Some say that all up it needs to be an odd number, as I said, no less than 3 and no more than 13. However, some say that they do make say a Grigori bag with 13 items, and because it is for someone, then that person is also asked to place an item, that personal item from them, whether it be a nail clipping or some hair or part of their clothing. So some personal item, which makes it then an even amount. So I was a little bit confused there, but things that you can put in them are stuff like dried herbs, flowers, crystals, soil, dirt, earth, ash, rocks, bones, coins, any metal objects. So basically the sky's the limit, whatever you want to put in there. At this stage, I'm not too worried about whether there is an odd number or an even number. So I guess technically I would be making myself a Mojo bag in that case. So what I would do is once I would cut out my piece of material, I would then cleanse it through some burning incense, whether it be frankincense or a little blend that I make myself personally, and I'd have representations of the elements nearby as well. That's something that in my last 3 Mojo bags that I created for myself, that is the method that I used. And look, it's quite simple as well, especially when I've got little ones. I can get them involved as well, bearing in mind, you know, to be careful what it is that they're touching. Essential oils can be toxic to little ones, especially if they're putting things in their mouths like mine do. So just be mindful of that as well. So each item that I would place in there, I would, you know, say my spell words or my power words or my, you know, the magical intent that I'm imbuing it and what it is that I'm putting it in there for. So I'd really take the moment to kind of connect with each item individually, you know, and slowly in that way, which can be difficult at times because I have 2 little ones, and that's probably why I've created so many different ones. But anyway, yeah, and then I would tie my little bag, so kind of like an example like this, with some twine or a piece of string, and then you can put whatever additional representations of that particular energy that you wish to, you know, to imbue it with, you know. I'll actually show you the one that I made in class. this is one of the ones that I have created myself, and this was for abundance. So what you would do, generally, I don't know if I mentioned this, the Grigri bags you would feed, and I don't know if I mentioned this as well, but I love the concept of, you know, hoodoo is kind of like animistic, and they believe that there is a spirit in everything they create. So this is a portable talisman. It has life. You feed it, you nurture it, you treat it with respect. Generally, you don't show others, nor do you let others touch it as well, because you don't want, you know, that magic to then to transform onto that person, or for their energies, you know, to, what's the word that I'm looking for? To kind of taint, I guess, you know, your magic by their energies touching it. So it's something that is personal as well, and you treat with respect. The idea is you treat it the way you want to be treated. So if you're showing respect, and if you're feeding it, and if you're nurturing it, it in turn will give that back to you as well. So this is one that I made in class. And what we also made was, you know, an oil as well. So in here, it has all different oils that magically correspond to abundance for me. So by feeding it, as I said, it's that feeding, it's that nurturing, it's kind of like a live talisman. What I would do, there are traditional ways in which they say you feed it once a week, and once a week on the day that you created it. So if I created this on a Monday, once a week on a Monday I would feed it. So I'd put a little bit of oil, and I would just feed it, and I would just add my intent in there. So that's the idea behind feeding your little spell bag. I'm just going to call them spell bag. In actual fact, I had a little chuckle with myself. A couple of weeks ago, I decided to call this, I guess, my Willow magical spell bag. So they're just different ways that I'm creating magic. So that is why you would feed it. And the idea too, it feels like I'm forgetting something, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to rush because I can hear that they're getting a little bit antsy now. The same too is with Poppets. So this is one that was in the witch's chest, and I haven't consecrated this one just yet, and I'm not sure I think this one was for protection. I can't remember now. So anyway, I'm going to consecrate it. And the same thing with this. It's something personal. You don't let others touch it or play with it. You treat it with respect, and you can create the same thing. You can create one for healing, for protection, for divination, for magic, for whatever it is. So again, the options are endless. And as I said, it is a personal, you know, tool that you can use in your magic. Now, my little ones, they're little, they vibrate differently. It's not too concerning if they touch it, because Ruby's actually accidentally got the one that I've made for myself personally in, okay, I'll show it to you. So this is the one that I created in my aromatic magic course for protection. And so I've got some little, you know, representations of why I've created this one. It is personal to me. Inside, you would, the same concept, I guess, with the bags. You fill it with whatever magical correspondences in whatever magic that you're doing for yourself. So if it's for healing, any herbs that are related to healing, crystals, you may also draw your own sigils, your words of power or your spell, and you would place them inside the doll. The idea is traditionally to sew it yourself. So I actually sewed this myself, and I am so not good at sewing. But I did like the idea, because with each thread that I was, you know, sewing, when I was sewing this up, I did add in my own personal magic or intentions as well. So this was a long process. I don't know if I would create another one anytime soon for myself, because as I said, I'm not really good at sewing, and plus it is a lengthy process as well. I don't know if I've knocked something up there. Yeah, so look, again, traditionally they would be made for healing for somebody. Personal items would be placed in there as well. It may be used for creating magic against someone, which is not in my belief system at all, and I don't do that. But I think that you generally get the idea in how I use them. So yes, it does feel like I've forgotten something. Yeah, many different traditions call them differently. You know, there's the medicine bag as well. But anyway, I think you get the idea. Thank you so much for watching and sending you so much love.